4th, 2022. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heather, would you please take the roll call?
Councilmember Bachmann.
Here.
Mayor Beaton.
Here.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Here.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Here.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Here.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Here.
City Manager.
Here.
City Attorney.
Here.
DPW Director.
Here.
Police Chief.
Here.
Fire Chief.
Here.
City Engineer.
Here.
Roll call complete.
Thank you, Heather. Public hearings, we have none. Citizen comments on agenda-related items. This is an opportunity for citizens to comment on agenda-related items only. Citizens in attendance shall be recognized by the mayor for comments, limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted to council will not be publicly read. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak? Okay, moving on. Consent agenda. All agenda items marked with an asterisk are on the consent agenda and considered by the city manager to be routine matters. Prior to approval of the consent agenda, any member of council may have an item from the consent agenda removed and taken up during the regular portion of the meeting. Consent agenda items include approval of minutes, cash balances, revenue and expenses, notification regarding next study session. At this time, council could take action to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Heather, will you please take the roll call?
Councilmember Bachmann.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Unfinished business, we have none. Under new business, consideration of entering into an agreement with Wheeler Kearns Architects, P.C. to complete a master plan update for the Ramsdale Theater. The city received a State Historic Preservation Office grant to complete a new master plan for the Ramsdale Theater. The city issued a request for qualifications in October and selected Wheeler Kearns Architects from the responses received. The SHPO grant is covering 100% of the costs of the study. At this time, council could take action to enter into an agreement with Wheeler Kearns Architects, P.C. to complete a master plan update for the Ramsdale Theater, authorizing the mayor and clerk to sign the agreement. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Any discussion? I just have a couple of questions, just routine questions. How many people come to town to take a look at the theater? Do we have any idea? Or Xavier's not here, so I'm imagining.
No, and Mr. Bradford couldn't make it today. We had 5 bidders, and so they did walkthroughs with those 5 different vendors. As far as counts of people that come in, is that what you're looking for, or the number?
I mean, is it one person that comes in and takes a bunch of pictures and measurements, or goes over all the mechanicals and takes a hard look at the theater, or how does that work?
It looks like for the one that they're recommending, they have a sub-consultant of Charcoal Blue who does some theater work. So they were kind of, I think it's a firm, so they have multiple people who are going to be involved in developing that master plan.
Okay, I looked through the contract. It seemed pretty thorough, but it seemed like they were only going to be here twice. I would think that they'd be here more often than that. I could be mistaken.
It looks like there's a plan outline in February, the first draft in May, second draft July 2022, with a final plan to be submitted. It needs SHPO. State Historic Preservation Office is going to have to approve it in September. So there's going to be multiple steps of kind of that committee getting a look at it, being able to make revisions, and then also ultimately the State Historic Preservation Office is going to have to approve it as well.
Do they need any input from the public at all on changes? I'm just wondering.
And I think really when it comes to this particular they're looking at structural issues as being kind of a priority. Then there's kind of the functional and the aesthetics. So I think they kind of prioritize things based on making sure the building's going to last a long time, making sure it's functional, and being able to adapt. So as far as public input, there might be a way to have this presented at a council meeting, take some input. I could look into that if you'd like to set something up like that.
That might be nice for the public.
Okay.
I don't have anything else. Mick, any comments? Well, we had a motion and a support, so Heather, I think you can go ahead and take the roll call vote.
Councilmember Bachmann.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes,
Motion approved.
thank you. Consideration of approving a resolution accepting a contract between the Michigan Department of Transportation and the City of Manistee to complete rehabilitation on Maple Street Bridge. The city successfully applied for an MDOT grant to rehabilitate Maple Street Bridge. The project has been designed and bid as a local agency project. As a local agency project, the city must enter into an agreement with MDOT. The city attorney has reviewed and approved the contract. At this time, council could take action to approve the resolution for contract number 21-5399, control section MCS 51000, job number 209842 structure number 6470 over the Manistee River, by and between the Michigan Department of Transportation and the City of Manistee, and authorize Jeffrey W. McCullough, Public Works Director, to sign the contract. Do I have a motion?
I'll make. Second.
Discussion.
Is that what all they're gonna do to that bridge?
In the memo that I prepared for the agenda item, we listed some of the items, but it's basically a lot of maintenance work. The bridge goes through various inspections on a routine basis. Some are biannual, some are every 5 years, some are every 10 years. And our engineers keep regular track of that. Understanding that the bridge was showing some signs of wear and tear, we tried to time the grant application and the rehabilitation so that this bridge would be completely rehabbed before MDOT did the US 31 bridge in 2023. Some of the general items include a lot of the painting of the steel components, specifically painting of the bascule span and rack framing, also partial painting of the approach spans and pier caissons, various structural steel repairs that have shown up during the inspections, full depth concrete patching in the sidewalk deck, there's a section of concrete that is spalled off right by the bridge house, and often that hangs up as the bridge goes up and down and creates a bind. So that'll be repaired. Doing an epoxy overlay over the counterweight span decks, so that's on the surfaces, approach spans. Sealing of the sidewalk surfaces, and then sealing for the vertical face of the fascia concrete. So it's a lot of the miscellaneous things, but it'll prolong the life of that bridge another probably at least 20 years.
How much is the grant for?
The original grant we applied for was $733,000 based on our engineer's estimates. However, MDOT came back to us, and they actually never do this, and said all of our estimates are coming in 30-40% high. So why don't we increase the grant amount to $915,000, and that'll give you some leeway. That way, if the bids come in high, it's not going to be delayed, because the type of work that we're doing requires the bridge to be closed so they can tenant, they can do sandblasting and painting and keep it heated. that can only be done during the winter time because obviously it has to be operational during the boating season. So I don't know if I put it in here, the low bid for the project was $858,818. So we're roughly about $40,000 below what that grant was.
Good.
So we're in good shape.
Won't the weather be a problem with the cold and then setting the concrete?
They're actually gonna build tents around the bridge. So we're gonna close that bridge off for 60 days for that portion.
And the concrete may be done in the spring as well. It'll be cold weather concrete.
So it's a combination of stuff, but there's a period where we're gonna close it tenant while they can do that stuff heated up,
But it's going to be closed for 60 days.
at least. Our pre-construction meeting with the contractor is this Friday. So during the normal process during that meeting is they will provide their schedule, start date, and then milestone dates. So as soon as I get that on Friday, we'll put together kind of an immediate notice. There's a lot of people in the community, obviously, that are interested in what those timeframes are, and we'll get that out as soon as we have it.
Any chance it's gonna go over into the summer?
It cannot, because we have to have that bridge open for the navigation season, which begins May 1st.
Okay.
So I think the completion is mid-April.
Top of my head, I don't know that. I'll have to check on
The completion is timed to be ahead of that, so
Sorry, I think I interrupted somebody over there.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I would never say never, but that is our plan.
I've been asked a couple of times when, Memorial Drive between the two bridges is going to be repaired.
Yep.
It was going to happen with the repairs that are done on Maple Street Bridge.
So we actually timed that project with the same thing in mind, trying to utilize, or trying to get that done ahead of the detour for the 31 bridge. And so we have it under design right now, and we plan on construction in the spring for Memorial Drive. We had also planned on Washington Street doing a mill and fill on that portion as well, and then upgrading some of the undersized and old water main that's along that stretch. However, the state has not been willing to participate hardly at all in the cost of that. So because they backed off on their position of helping us fund those two projects, they are willing to fund the final top course of asphalt on Memorial Drive. And so we pulled Washington Street out of the plan for this year. And our intention was to then allow the 31 detour to happen in 2023 and then try to budget money for 2024 to then repave and do the water main work on Washington Street. We were notified last week, I believe, that our application for small urban funding through MDOT was approved by the Small Urban Task Force. That's made up of the local Manistee County Transportation, the City of Manistee, and Manistee County Road Commission has been approved, and our application's in there. So it looks like we'll get about $385,000 in 2024 to upgrade Washington Street.
Oh, good news. All right. And Quincy's still going to be on track, right?
Quincy and the short block of Cleveland are under design right now as well and planned for construction this summer.
Good. Something all the neighborhood will look forward to. I know that there's some people in Quincy that would really like to see that happen. So, thank you. I don't have any questions. How about you guys? Heather, do you need a motion?
We already have a motion and a
Okay.
second, so I'll take roll.
Okay, that would be good.
Councilmember Bachmann.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac. Motion approved.
Thank you. Notices, communications, announcements. Tonight, we had scheduled a report from the Manistee Blacker Airport, but Barry Lynn has been unable to make the meeting at this time. So, moving on, I guess to concerns and comments. Citizens' comments. Do the citizens in the audience have any comments they'd like to make? Okay, moving on to officials and staff. Mr. Gamble.
Thank you, Mayor. Just the police department notified me they were able to complete a demo over at 530 Davis. It was a fire damage structure, so appreciate their efforts to get that demoed. I'll get some before and after pictures for you. And then just want to wish everyone a happy new year. And my son was able to visit some cousins and aunts for the first time this holiday, so that was really nice. Thank you.
I'm sure it'll make a great memory for you all.
It was. Thank you.
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Heather?
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
City engineer?
Nothing, Your Honor. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too. Chief Glass?
I don't have anything, Your Honor. Thank you.
Chief Cameron?
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Jeff McCool?
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Lucas, you're here. Do you have anything to add? I know you've been so instrumental on streets, so I always think you're going to say something. Okay. Mr. Butterman?
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
I don't have anything, thank you.
I got a couple of things.
Okay.
I got a question, first of all. I was reading this, I'm sorry, my brain's kind of done for. The study session, is the only thing on there for the next week's study session is the neighborhood restoration?
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible to add a couple things to that?
Well, yeah, we could look at, what
Okay,
are you
well,
thinking?
I'm just wondering if we can add something about the, like, can we discuss the safe build issue, or is that something that we can't, or?
So we did find out we can't do a closed session on it, so
Okay.
we could discuss it in open session if you,
Okay. I kind of got a couple different things, so I'm kind of like all over the place. The issue with the, problem with the road on 12th Street, I don't know if we can figure out how to get that fixed. Because we keep bringing it up and nobody knows where to go with it.
what's,
At the school?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. Because there's been a couple accidents, not only with the kids, but actually like on Maple now. And has there been any like traffic study yet?
so we did the traffic study, and I think we're looking at doing the improvement to 12th Street by the school this next summer, so we pushed it up a year.
Okay.
And we're planning on implementing those traffic study improvements, so that was,
That
we
was
are.
the first one, and then what Jim was talking about the last meeting, where there's like that bump in the road, where he was trying to get somebody's phone number. That would be Jeff, right?
Yeah.
You want to know what you're doing now?
No, I was just I'm just trying to get, like, kind of wrap this stuff up so it doesn't keep like lingering on. And then I did want to talk about the listings that we have, like all the properties, because they haven't been updated since 2017, and they should have been sold by now because we can use that money. They just need to be updated and, you know, better pictures, and the prices are like all over the board. They don't make sense. And then I was just wondering about that house on Monroe, if that was gonna get torn down anytime soon.
We're actually in the court process of that, right? Going back to court and getting a potential court order for it to be fixed, demolished, or the city can. Do I have that right?
Yes, at the last hearing, which was last week, I believe, the property owner came in, and because of some illness that he had, he still harbors some hope that he can repair it. We don't think that's possible.
Okay.
But the judge extended him a couple more weeks to be able to do that. It might have been actually 30 days. And if he doesn't have it, then the order provides that the city can go in and tear it down. And then we've got money in escrow that can be used then to cover that.
So we would have to pay for it?
No, the insurance company,
Okay.
there's a process through state law that the insurance company deposits money with the city and it's placed in escrow, and then the city can use those funds ultimately to reimburse us if we end up having to take the structure down.
Okay.
And that looks like where it's headed, but a nice gentleman, he just expressed to the judge that he'd like some additional time to try to get contractors in to get an estimate. We'll see if that happens. If it doesn't, in 30 days, we'll be able to go in and take it down.
Okay. And then I just had one more question for you. Way back a few months ago, I think it was the ad hoc committee, they were gonna redo their resolution and bring it back to us.
That's coming in the form of the study session next.
Okay, all right, that's it. That's all I got. I'm done.
Are we going to be taping, are we going to think about videotaping the Neighborhood Restoration and Beautification Committee when it goes live, so to speak? When it's,
Yeah, yes, we could do that.
I'm curious to know if Mr. Taylor has any issues with that.
No, I don't see any issue.
Okay, all right. Okay. What was I? Okay.
That way.
You. Mick, do you have anything?
Just wanted to say thanks to the EMTs. We had an opportunity to experience their professionalism and appreciate the way that they were able to handle themselves. Very, very well done. And it's traumatic whenever an ambulance has to be called, but they did it very well, and kudos to them. And other than that, a Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks for all the good work.
Mr. Grabowski?
Okay. I would like to express, I think we all got a letter from some gentleman at Harbor Village about the store downtown. I know what's going on and all the agreements with the court, but I'm still ticked off with that store. All those boards out there, and he put wreaths on them to make it look nice for Christmas, of course. But I think, we still have to do something with that. I think it's just a blight down there. And people are writing from Harbor Village now. And they feel that they put stuff into this town and they'd like to see something done. And I agree with them.
Well, I'm totally lost because I didn't get a copy of that.
Did you?
No,
Oh, I got it in my email.
recall seeing it.
I'll send it to you.
Came right after the Christmas parade, right, Jim?
You responded.
Right after the sleigh
I
bell.
did? I responded already. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I don't think it was actually from the Harbor Village, it was just,
It's from the gentleman at
Yeah.
Harbor Village.
yeah, I got it.
Okay. I should
Um,
look back at my son.
Are we still working on the SSO project, the sewer project, or is that done for the winter?
The Wet Weather Corrective Action Program, there's 2 contracts for that. First, the conveyance project is the new 48-inch pipeline. That's been laid from the new headworks to High Street and then 1 block on 7th and stop for the winter. And then we'll resume in the spring and be completed by July. The second portion is the actual headworks. So in general, the 3 storage tanks all have their foundations poured. 2 of them have their bottoms poured. And there's a possibility that the walls will be going up this winter, just depending on the subcontractor's schedule. The headworks building, just about all the concrete is completed. The structure, roof's on, still waiting on doors and windows to be put in. But now all the internal piping and electrical is ongoing and will continue out throughout the winter. There's the gravel parking and all the storm. Most of the underground is complete there. They just poured the foundation for the Vector dump tank, I think yesterday or today. I think it was today. And then there's a storage garage that's part of it, and they're digging the footings for that right now. So it's still going.
Okay. Thank you.
with the completion of that is going online into June, July next year, so it's on track.
All right, thank you. That's it.
Well, I don't have anything other than I haven't seen any of you since last year. So it's really good to be all together again. I'm looking forward to 2022 and hoping it's a lot better than 2021. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
By 2 minutes.